Jim Marrs, the great Jim Marrs, great investigative reporter, a best-selling author, coming here to Austin, Texas this Saturday, 6 o'clock at Brave New Bookstore, the physical location 1904 Guadalupe here in Austin, Texas, right across the street from UT, and coincidentally enough, right under the Chase Bank Building. It is the bunker under Chase Bank Building. Brave New Bookstore. They have all the videos, all the books that you hear about on this program. They will be streaming this PowerPoint event where Jim will also be signing a lot of his books. His newest book about the Nazification of America. Of course, has done books about false flag terror, et cetera, JFK. He's got it all. He's got all the goods. And he will be appearing at 6 o'clock this Saturday, the 20th of this month, September, at Brave New Bookstore in Austin, Texas. And if you're somewhere else, go tune in at that time to bravenewbookstore.com. They're going to be running live feeds and live video from the event, so you can be a part of it, even if you don't live here in Austin, Texas. Go to bravenewbookstore.com this Saturday at 6 o'clock. I believe it starts at 6:30, technically, and you can watch this entire presentation. And it's almost as if you're there. While you're there, do some shopping as well. Richard Andrew Grove on the program with us today. Richard, you got a couple of benefits coming up, including my friend Adam Kokesh, who's going to be on the program tomorrow, a great revolutionist for the cause here. Did an excellent job at the Ron Paul Revolution rally up in Minnesota. Really knows what he's talking about. Just full of energy. He is with the Iraqi Veterans Against the War. You're doing a benefit and finding ways to benefit that group and the Feel Good Foundation by John Feel. Quickly tell us about that if you could.
Oh, sure. The films we've been producing this summer, there's 3 films we've produced. 2 of them are already released. You can see them online for free, but if you want a DVD, you have to donate $50 or more to one of the soldier organizations or a first responder organization. You email us the receipt, we send you the DVD at our own cost. And what we're working on right now is a play called The Veteran Dialogues. And it's kind of, a spin-off of that play, The Vagina Monologues, only it's more than one person on stage. It's communication between soldiers and a civilian audience, around topics of concern, things they experienced, things they went through, and presented in such a way that the audience realizes that we're all dealing with the same things, that we all have common opposition. And as long as there's such cognitive dissonance in this country about the war, you can't get the war stopped. So our goal is to take that demographic which strongly supports the war and let them hear what soldiers are actually saying and actually going through. And to do that, I've had a writing partner over the last couple of weeks named Mike Sires, who's part of IVAW, and he's part of We Are Change Florida. And we wrote a screenplay for the American Zoetrope contest based on some of the footage he shot at IVAW out in Minnesota at one of their meetings. And then he's working with me on this play. And so we're doing everything we can to both educate the public to what's really going on and, to turn off their TVs and listen to these soldiers because they're dying to, to hear your, they're dying to get your attention, literally.
Yeah, literally. And, so donate $50 to IVAW or the Feel Good Foundation. Show that to Richard and his people. They'll get you a bunch of the films, hard copies of the films that they make, including the film To End All War. Some of the films Richard has made also, which should include some of the evidence you're hearing with the documentation to back it up. On today's program, I got to know what happens. I mean, Kroll, man, we look at Lou Palumbo, private investigator with Kroll, who has connections to the Colombia drug Medellin cartels, has connections to Shin Beth, the secret police out of Israel. I mean, these people are extremely powerful, extremely dangerous, as you've noted on the program before and today, involved in 9/11, running the security at the World Trade Center towers, probably took out John O'Neill. Who gets Kroll through this whole AIG mess? Where are they now? What are they doing today? And how are they affected by this at all? And who controls them?
Well, AIG handed off Kroll to Marsh and McLennan. So now that AIG is getting in the middle of all this heat, Marsh and McLennan safely keeping Kroll. And if you look up the history on Kroll, they trained the Saudi regime, they trained the Iraqis, they handled Enron after it crashed, right? So they are the go-to guys to come in and do anything because they are a private intelligence agency. And because they're privatized, everything they do is off of the government, the public radar, because it's not going through government.
They're like Blackwater, Richard, but they're scarier, in my opinion, and they have been shielded through this AIG bailout by going under the banner of Marsh and McLennan.
Absolutely. And to make a couple quick points, the article I couldn't remember the name of earlier is called Greenberg Making a Play for AIG, ? It's on Forbes.com. And basically, Greenberg writes this letter to help and says, "Oh, you guys are in trouble. Can I come in and help and help to buy you guys out of trouble?" And really, it looks like when Greenberg left, he left it as a poison pill. for AIG to self-destruct, and then he can come in and out of the ashes, they make a new money laundering entity that's faster, stronger, better than the old one. And if you just go back 1 second, there's a Los Angeles Times reporter named Mark Fritz, and he wrote this article entitled "The Secret Insurance Agent Men." And it talks about Cornelius V. Starr, who's the founder of AIG, and these guys from the OSS going behind the scenes, bankrolling Hitler, and then bringing down his regime, right? And I think the same people that did 9/11 are the same families, at least, that funded the Holocaust and the Nazis. They're the same people that killed JFK, and now they're making a final run for power. And they're folding up shop, because when you close down AIG or Lehman Brothers, that company doesn't exist to historians in the future. You can't get those records, because when companies are merged or bought out or acquired, those records disappear. And so all these little companies, or even big companies like AIG, can be rolled up into a bigger company that you can't see into, like the Federal Reserve.
And so in the final analysis, Richard, AIG, Lehman Brothers, and of course we can lump in some of these other banking houses into this as well, Merrill Lynch, et cetera.
Citigroup, yeah.
They fell, and allegedly fell, because they're not really going to fall. Again, this is a big protection racket. We got to let our listeners understand that. They've got to know this. But it fell on purpose, not because of the Republican economy, not because of capitalism or cartel capitalism, maybe in this case. They fell because they were designed to fall in order to, again, put out more protections, to consolidate and centralize more power with the Federal Reserve, to put out more regulations, this blueprint coming from the Treasury, which is extremely disturbing to me. I mean, they just seem to benefit no matter what they do, and the American people fall for it. They're out there going, constantly, oh my God, the economy is going to crash completely. We're going to be begging in the streets. We better do what we're told. These people are going to save us. The Federal Reserve, which isn't federal and has no reserves, are coming on the white horse to save us all. Let's bow down. Let's pick up their poop and put it in our pocket and then go try to buy food with it. Unfortunately, this is all designed. Now, how close of a design, how much they control this is up for debate. It is controlled chaos. But the usual suspects, very, very dangerous people connected into the Council on Foreign Relations, connected into the CIA, they are the CIA, connected into mercenary groups, connected into the shadow government, are pulling these strings. And I'm so glad, Richard, you can come on today and tell people how this works.
Hey, I just hope it helped to get people to at least look for themselves, because when you start looking into this for yourself, that's when you really get to understand. You can't understand from hearing me on the Jack Blood show or any other show, and you can't even really understand from watching one of our films. You have to actually take that and start to look for yourself and figure it out, and that's where you lose your fear and replace it with understanding. And that's when people will listen to you, when you're not coming to them like the sky is falling, but you're coming to them saying there's a problem, but I have a solution, and we just need to get together and collaborate.
That is the natural thing, especially American patriots and the patriot movements and the truth movements. Their first reaction is, oh my God, the sky is falling, the world's going to end. And people seem to really buy into that fear. And what we've been trying to do is alleviate that fear with the power of knowledge. So by knowing these things, we are free. By knowing where the problem is coming from and who's responsible, giving out their names on this broadcast, Richard, we are able to protect ourselves if we have the guts, if we have the fortitude, if we have even the patriotism, dare I say, to do it.
Ignorance is just regret waiting to happen, so get active.
Hey, man, excellent job on the show today. Your website, 8th The State. You can say it that way, or 8th Estate. What does that mean exactly, Richard?
It's the state of infinity that is the state of divinity. It's peace.
Vote with your dollars. The truth is out there, but you must realize it. You must understand it. You must grasp it. You must not be afraid of it. Richard Andrew Grove, excellent job today. Folks, go donate to these organizations and get all of the information for yourself. Tomorrow on the program, Adam Kokesh will join us. I think Jim Mars might drop in. Should be a good show for a Friday. I hope you all tune in. Thanks again, Richard. Really appreciate it. I'll talk to you later, brother.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
That wraps up another edition of Deadline Live. Thank you so much for joining us, folks. Get out, especially the second hour, man. Get it out to people. Let people hear this. Let them study this for themselves. Let them use their common sense. Let them use that third eye, whatever it takes, to understand what's going on. I think it will alleviate a lot of the fear that we have, that this is all just uncontrolled. This is all just accidental. This is all just coincidental. This is all just massive incompetence, and there's no solution. When we know the truth will set us free. Folks, as always, I'm Jack Blood saying, be bold. Be bold as love, and mighty forces will come to your aid. I'll see you tomorrow.